An 18-year-old Ukrainian refugee has allegedly been gang-raped by two men on board a German hotel ship being used to house people fleeing the Russia-waged war. The woman was reportedly assaulted by two men one after the other on the Oscar Wilde hotel ship. The alleged assailants, aged 37 and 26, are from Iraq and Nigeria but also hold Ukrainian citizenship, Bild reported. Police launched an investigation into the alleged assault which took place on March 6 and arrested the two men, who remain in custody, Düsseldorf prosecutor's office confirmed on Monday. Alongside paying guests, more than 25 refugees were staying on the hotel ship at the time of alleged incident after fleeing the brutal Russian invasion of Ukraine last month. It is almost entirely women and children making up the number who are fleeing across Ukraine's borders, and concerns are growing on how to protect the most vulnerable refugees from being targeted by human traffickers or becoming victims to other forms of exploitation. It is at least the second alleged rape of a teenage Ukrainian refugee after a man was arrested in Poland last week on suspicion of assaulting a 19-year-old who had fled the conflict. MP Andrea Lindholz told Bild that police must do more to specifically ensure the protection of Ukrainian women by checking accommodation, and warned the alleged rape on the Oscar Wilde means authorities must act immediately. A police spokesperson said, "Politicians should now do everything to ensure that such terrible cases of rape as on the hotel boat in Düsseldorf do not accumulate." Harsh and swift punishment followed by deportation is the only language such perpetrators understand. A 49-year-old man was detained in Wrocław, Poland, on Thursday after he allegedly lured the young woman in with the offer of help over the internet. The suspect could face up to 12 years in prison for the brutal crime, authorities said. He met the girl by offering his help via an internet portal. She escaped from war-torn Ukraine, did not speak Polish. She trusted a man who promised to help and shelter her. Unfortunately, all this turned out to be deceitful manipulation. Another man at a refugee camp in Poland was overheard offering work and a room to a 16-year-old girl before authorities intervened. At Poland's Medyka border, another case at a refugee camp raised suspicions when a man was offering help only to women and children. "Obviously all the refugees are women and children," said Jung Agadini Williams, the UNHCR's head of global communications, who has visited borders in Romania, Poland, and Moldova. "You have to worry about any potential risks for trafficking, but also exploitation, and sexual exploitation and abuse. These are the kinds of situations that people like traffickers look to take advantage of," she said. In countries throughout Europe, including the border nations of Romania, Poland, Hungary, Moldova, and Slovakia, private citizens and volunteers have been greeting and offering help to those whose lives have been shattered by war. Police in Berlin warned women and children in a post on social media in Ukrainian and Russian against accepting offers of overnight stays, and urged them to report anything suspicious. Tamara Barnett, Director of Operations at the Human Trafficking Foundation, a UK-based charity which grew out of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Human Trafficking, said that such a rapid, mass displacement of people could be a recipe for disaster. When you've suddenly got a huge cohort of really vulnerable people who need money and assistance immediately, she said, it's sort of a breeding ground for exploitative situations and sexual exploitation. When I saw all these volunteers offering their houses, that flagged a worry in my head. Madalina Mokan, Committee Director at Protect, an organization that brings together 21 anti-trafficking groups, said there are already worrying signs, with some refugees being offered shelter in exchange for services such as cleaning and babysitting, which could lead to exploitation. There will be attempts of traffickers trying to take victims from Ukraine across the border. Women and children are vulnerable, especially those that do not have connections, family, friends, other networks of support, she said, adding that continued conflict will mean more and more vulnerable people reaching the borders. Advertisement.